All right, welcome everyone. Hi, I am Heather. Today we are talking about the science of confidence and how to eliminate self-doubt and close premium clients. Do you ever feel like self-doubt is the silent killer of your success? Like you're standing in your own way, sabotaging deals that you deserve? Well, here's the truth. Confidence isn't some magical trait you're born with. It's science. And once you master it, you'll have the power to close premium clients effortlessly. So stick around because in this video, I'm going to be sharing the exact steps to eliminate self doubt and build unshakable confidence that will transform your business and your life. And by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to position yourself as the expert clients can't say no to. So again, I'm Heather Blaze. If you don't know who I am, over the last 20 plus years, since 1996, I've helped countless entrepreneurs succeed. Coaches break free from limiting beliefs, build six-figure businesses, and confidently close high-ticket deals. And I've been in your shoes before, okay? Second guessing my worth, doubting if clients would actually pay me premium prices for my expertise. But I figured out a formula to overcome those mental roadblocks and achieve not just financial freedom, but peace of mind. And today I'm going to share those exact strategies with you so that you can stop spinning your wheels and start thriving. So in this video, we're going to be diving deep into three game-changing concepts. So first, I will uncover the hidden causes of self-doubt and how they're holding you back. Then we'll explore a proven framework to build your confidence and show up as the go-to expert in your industry. And finally, I'll share actionable tips to close premium clients without feeling salesy or, cheesy, sleazy, or second guessing yourself. So stay until the end because I've got an exclusive bonus tip too that will change the way you approach your business forever. So first up, let's talk about the roots of self-doubt. Let's start by understanding where self-doubt comes from. So most of us are conditioned to play small, to believe that charging premium prices is greedy or unrealistic. Have you ever told yourself maybe that, who am I? Who am I to ask that much? That thought alone can really cost you thousands. Self-doubt often stems from a combination of past experiences, societal conditioning, and fear of rejection, or even fear of success sometimes. And maybe you grew up hearing phrases like "don't brag" or "stay humble," things like that. And while humility has its place, it's not an excuse to undervalue yourself. I've had clients like this and I've had to say, "Hey, you're not bragging. You're just sharing your story, right?" And here's my story. When I first started, I was charging way below my worth because I feared rejection. I didn't understand my worth. I didn't have clarity around it. And one day a prospect flat out told me, "If you're that cheap, like how can I trust your expertise?" And that really stung, but it opened my eyes, right? Think of self-doubt like a foggy windshield maybe. It kind of clouds your vision and makes every move feel uncertain. But with the right tools, you can clear the fog and drive with certainty. So this is something I go really deep on with my clients. We spend, how many weeks do we spend on this? We really dive deep like the first week because they really have to get clear on what their value is, right? What is their value? I take all their knowledge, all their wisdom, all their expertise and bring it up and out. And then what we do is we match what that is with an ideal client who they would ideally want to help with that expertise that would get their client amazing results. So just take a moment maybe right now and write down one limiting belief that you have about your worth. And then you can counter it with three pieces of evidence that prove it wrong. So you can pause this we're live right now, but if you're watching this later, you can pause this. But for example, like if you believe I'm not experienced enough might be the thing, right? Just list achievements or list testimonials maybe, or times when you've solved these real problems for clients or maybe friends or family or maybe for yourself. And then come up with a reframe. Something like, I'm gaining more and more experience as time goes on. That's like a reframe, right? But make it something that's really believable. And then you want to stick it maybe on a post-it note or something on your bathroom mirror so that you can see it often. And then eventually it will just disappear. And you replace it with the next one because there's always going to be something and we're always growing. So the next one will come up and then you can replace it with that one. But now let's move on to the science of confidence. Okay. Confidence is much like a muscle. You're not born with it. Well, maybe you are born with it. And then I think you lose it. I think you lose it through, all the voices, all the people around you and television and whatever the things happening, people at school and parents and whatever teachers, I think maybe we're born with confidence as like a baby, but I think that over time, we kind of lose it. Things happen and then we make things mean certain things and then we end up losing our confidence. Um, it's programming really. So then you can build it though. You can build it back up. So through intentional practice. Actually, a really good example would probably be I was in an abusive relationship, a really toxic relationship, and it was with a narcissist. I don't know if you know anything about narcissists, but I didn't when I first got into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got into it. But they're really good at manipulating. They're really good at listening and then taking your words and then manipulating them and slowly weeding away at your confidence. And I mean, I've been super confident my whole life. People are like always, I don't know. I mean, maybe when I was a teenager, it wasn't as confident. But anyway, get into this relationship and slowly chipped away at my confidence to a point where I was just like, what am I doing? Why am I in this? Why do I keep going back to this? The classic scenario. And then I noticed like I had enough self-awareness to really hear that little voice in my head that was telling me really negative things. And it was actually his voice in my head that was doing that. So what I did was I reprogrammed, I just listened to YouTube videos. Basically, I found affirmations where I would listen to it as much as possible. Like when I was getting ready in the morning, when I was, cooking breakfast, when I was waiting in line at the checkout or whatever, when I was driving, when I was falling asleep. And so I could rewire my brain to a really good one was Louise Hay 1001 Power Thoughts. That one was really good. So eventually it worked. It really did. It worked. I mean, it took, I don't know if it was months or years, but it at least months it took to really be listening to that constantly to switch. It kind of switched where it got less and less negative and more positive. So quick tip there, a little bonus tip there. If you're dealing with that, right? If you've got these like that little voice in your head telling you stuff that we've been programmed with either from our parents or maybe relationship or things like that, where whatever it is, right? Where that little voice in our head has now picked up on it and keeps that record going. Switch it, right? And then anyway, science tells us that our brains are wired, right? They're wired for neuroplasticity, meaning that you can reprogram your thoughts. And how do we do that? That's one way, right? But some steps to reprogram your mind first is identify it. You got to identify it first because if you're not even aware that it's happening, how are you going to know? So identify what your limiting beliefs are. Take inventory of the negative thoughts that hold you back. So, for example, what if, it's could be something like, what if they think I'm not worth it? Or what if they say no? Could be like that, right? Or what if they think I'm all that, right? Your friends and family when I do get successful, because I hear that one a lot too. A lot of people don't want the success because they're afraid what others will think of them when they're successful, which is like, anyway, the second thing is then challenge those beliefs, right? You want to challenge those beliefs with facts. Like, are they really going to think that, right? Replace those fear-based assumptions with evidence. Ask yourself, is this belief based on truth or is it based on fear? So another example, for instance, is uh I've got past clients or past clients have expressed uh you know, satisfaction, right? So if your clients have, or if you had some clients already, and they've expressed satisfaction with your work, right? You have that to fall on, right? Or have you achieved any measurable results for them or for yourself? Because then that's a fact, right? Anyway, the third thing would then be to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations. So create positive, specific affirmations like I deliver massive value. I create, and clients recognize my worth, stuff like that. Write it on a post-it note, like I said before, and then just stick it on your bathroom mirror or wherever you're going to see it, and say these affirmations out loud daily. Like you need to rewire your brain. You need to look at yourself in the mirror in your eyes, and say it to yourself until you believe it. Because I mean, another really good one, I think it's Louise Hay again. She has a book called Mirror Work, and when I was in that toxic relationship, someone recommended it, and I did it, and I was just bawling in the mirror, looking at myself because I'd lost myself so bad that I looked in the mirror and I was like, how could I let somebody treat me like this? I must not love myself, and was just bawling when I was like saying the words to myself in the mirror. And really great exercise, like to again really realize that that was happening, and then to recognize and bring everything up to the surface so that you can heal, right? Anyway, it's kind of an extreme example, but it's true, and that's a really great book. I think it's called Mirror Exercises by Louise Hay. Anyway, one of my clients was really terrified to raise her rates, I remember, and she felt like no one would pay. Okay. She's like, she was actually struggling to get people to pay a lower price. I think she was charging, well, I'll use my favorite example. One of my clients, she was charging $60 an hour, barely had any clients for like a year and a half. And then came on with me within 3 weeks. She had her first $3,000 client, right? But before getting clear on her true value, that I walked her through a bunch of exercises over that period of 3 weeks, and implemented this framework. So she could confidently ask for the 3,000 versus 60, and she just keeps getting high ticket client after high ticket client after high ticket client. And she's also the one that was like, I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag. And I was like, you've got to share your story, because you're not bragging. You're just giving people hope, that if you can do it, they can do it too. Right. But she just got yeses on the spot once she understood her value. And that was the main thing. Right. So struggling from $60 an hour to 3,000. And then guess what? People had that vested interest to show up and listen to her and do the work so that she could get them amazing results. Whereas when she was doing $60 an hour, people were like, maybe we'll go, maybe we won't. She couldn't get them the results. Right. So anyway, really it's like win-win situation. Everybody's thinks like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to pay $3,000. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to communicate the value effectively, but you got to be clear on certain things first. And that's a lot of the things that I help my clients with. But building confidence is like planting seeds. It's like planting seeds in this fertile soil. So at first it's like fragile and it needs a lot of care. But then with this constant effort, watering it daily, it grows into a really strong, unshakable tree. And again, pulling those weeds out, right? If you're going to use a garden analogy. But here's another practical tip for you. Visualize your success. Just think about what that looks like for you. Spend 5 minutes each day visualizing your confidence. Visualize yourself confidently closing, you know, high ticket sales, enrolling people, working with them. Like, how does that feel? Imagine, the handshake, or imagine the contract being signed, or imagine the money in your bank, right? Or imagine like a screen of on Zoom with all your clients in one place, like, or just if you're doing one-on-one, doing that. But anyway, imagine your client's excitement. Imagine your client getting the results that you provide. That's the most fulfilling and satisfying. And your sense of achievement, right? Like really feel it, because there's that surface. It's not surfacey, right? You got to really feel it. You got to really believe it in order for it to change it. So anyway, now you're ready for the third and most crucial part, which is closing premium clients with confidence. So now that you've built that confidence, and another thing, by the way, is confidence comes from clarity. So if you're not really clear on how to get these clients or how to talk to them or all these things, you need to get clear first. Once you've got that clarity on how it all works on the process, that's where the confidence comes in. But it all starts with how you position yourself. So high ticket clients want to work with leaders. They want to work with winners. They don't want to work with followers, right? So the number one tip, or tip number one, is to speak to their outcomes. Speak to the outcomes of what they want, not the process or not how you get them there. Speak to the outcome, the result, right? I always say that. So premium clients don't really care. They don't really care about how they get there. Um, they don't care about the nuts and bolts of your service. They care about those results. So instead of saying, I'll coach you weekly, say, I'll help you double your revenue in 6 months, right? So like if you maybe imagine selling a car, for example, instead of explaining every feature in the engine, you highlight how the car will make their daily commute faster and more enjoyable, right? Talk to them about, just imagine yourself in this car, right? Like you want to take it for a test drive, whatever. So the second tip is then to really practice active listening. So confidence isn't about talking nonstop. It's actually the opposite. And it actually stems from, I don't know if you'll find this interesting, but I learned this a long time ago in a workshop I did about 20 years ago with Allison Armstrong. It was amazing. It was, what was it called? I forget. Anyway, but it was all about our DNA and like men and women. It was, sorry, I'm trying to think. Um, It stems from us talking incessantly, especially women, when we're like, blah, 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 blah. It kind of stems from that hunter-gatherer time. That's what I learned, because it's like if you just picture us women together going and picking berries, and we've got the kids and all that, we're talking really loud to keep the predators away, to keep us safe. So it stems from that. So if you think about it that way, that's not confidence, right? Like we're scared. So that's not confidence. We're talking, 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 talking because it's actually like really deep rooted in our DNA to do that, to keep us safe. So listening is actually confidence. When you can listen, and that's where confidence kind of comes in. It's really truly understanding your clients' pain points and their desires. So ask questions, lots of questions. So like, what's your biggest challenge right now? And listen and get that clarity, like really understand. And that's what it really does. It helps them feel understood. It helps them feel heard, and it gives you clarity on whether you can even help them or not, right? So anyway, really important to listen. So the third tip is to overcome those objections with empathy. So when a client says, I'm not sure I can afford this, it's usually because they either don't have clarity around what the cost of inaction would be compared to the price, or the perceived cost for the result is more than perceived cost of inaction. Does that make sense? So in which case you would need to gain clarity on whether they think it's worth the price or not, or if maybe they just need to find the money. Maybe they think it's worth it. They just don't know where to get the money. So then you can have that conversation. Those are two different conversations, right? So first off, you want to respond with empathy. I understand, makes sense. Can I ask you a couple more questions? Like, is it that you don't think it's worth the cost, or it's more like you would need to find the money? Right? Those are two different things. So gaining that clarity, and see what they say, and then you can just handle it from there. But if you go into like, oh, it's totally worth it, you said you needed it, da 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 da, it's like very like defensive. It's very like stand off. It's like they're going to pull away, but when you have empathy, when you have understanding, and you're like, okay, I hear you. It's a lot, it makes sense. Like whatever your price point is, let's say 5,000. Yeah, I get it. That's a lot. So can I ask you, is it that you don't think it's worth 5,000, or you just don't have the money, you need to, or you want to find the money or whatever, right? So you can see the difference anyway. And my client Anna struggled to close deals because she felt really pushy. I don't know put in the comments here if you ever feel pushy on a sales call, because it should never feel that way, right? Again, that goes into like talking and stuff versus listening. When you sit back and you listen and you understand and you have that clarity and that understanding, all that pushiness goes away, right? You're selling from service. And this is what I teach my clients as well. It's like, let's really, in order to help them, you got to get them in, right? But anyway, after we worked on her positioning and confidence, she shifted her energy from convincing, right, to selecting, right? She started saying, I'm looking for the right client to partner with. And suddenly the prospects were eager to work with her. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the comments if that makes sense. I mean, just imagine you're like a lighthouse and premium clients are like ships lost at sea, right? They're drawn to the beacon of clarity, guidance, and the confidence that you provide. So just be the lighthouse. Be the lighthouse. But now I want you to write down 3 reasons why you're the best choice for your ideal client. Just take a minute. If you're watching this, after the live, just take a minute and write down, what are the 3 reasons why you're the best choice for your ideal client? And use these reasons to craft a confident, concise pitch for your next call, right? Because then everything gets built out around that, right? The questions, the everything gets built out around that. So here's something that most people don't tell you. Okay. Confidence doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or doubt again. It means you'll take action despite those feelings. That's where true growth happens. So, as a bonus, I'll let you in on a little known strategy that my clients use to close a $25,000 deal in just 1 week. She shifted her mindset from convincing to choosing. And instead of trying to win the client over, she positioned herself as the prize, right? She was Mr. Miyagi and it worked like magic, right? It's just that little twist. Instead of it's like desperation to no, wait, I'm the prize here. I've got the answer. I've got the keys to the kingdom. I'm Mr. Miyagi. You're the Daniel-san. Let me show you. If you want this, I'm here for you. Right. So this is the energy you need to bring to every client interaction. Um, and if you're ready to eliminate self doubt and start closing premium clients with confidence, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I do lives here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So you could also mark your calendar. But they're up there after, so you can just come back and look at them after too. And if you want if you want to fast track your results, join my free masterclass where I reveal even more proven strategies to help you scale your business to 6 figures and beyond. So don't wait, right? The link is going to be here in the description below. So you can just click on that. So today we uncovered the roots of self-doubt. We explored the science of building confidence and learned how to close premium clients with ease. Remember, confidence is your most powerful tool in business. And the good news is that it's a skill that you can master. Believe me, I did not have, well, I told you about my experience in that toxic relationship. I was like completely depleted, had terrible confidence. Like he really did a number on me. But I built it back up. I mean, I couldn't even get on, I could barely record a video, like a training video for my clients when I first started. Forget doing a live. Okay. Like I could barely talk in a training video. I was so nervous. And then I just did baby steps. I just kept doing them. And then what was it? Then I recorded in my group and didn't tell anybody that I was doing a live, right? Or no, I recorded and then I could edit and whatever, delete it. Then I started doing lives, but I would only do them in my private group and I wouldn't tell anybody that I was doing it. So I could just, whatever. Again, I could still delete it after if I wanted to. Um, and then now I love it. And now I'm excited to do them. I'm here. We tell everybody on my, in my email list, we tell everybody, send reminders, text reminders, email reminders. Hey, we're coming on. So I'm excited now and I do it and I stream in 3 different places. So I love it now, but super confident. But it took time. It took time. And this is a skill that you can master too. So take action today and you'll see the results sooner than you think. And then stay tuned for my next video where I'll show you how to triple leads in just 30 days And until then, just keep striving for the business and the life that you deserve. Awesome. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next Thursday.